Well, overall, it was still a phenomenal season for us. You know, I think next year, we're definitely talking about this team pushing for a championship. They're already there. We might need a couple of extra pieces. That's about it. But for the most part, it looks like we're there. We're not losing too much off of this team as it is. You could argue, sign our backup DT, second string DT to as much money as possible. But yeah, Bonds, torn labrum from there. We were still going to be without a Conquo unless we made the Super Bowl. That's tough. Tough to come up short against them twice. I really did want that win. Todd Bowles finally gets fired out of Tampa. But it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. But obviously great progress, Great progress to see this team make the playoffs for the first time in that situation. So we'll see what the playoffs end up bringing in and who will be going to the Super Bowl. So a look at the bracket. The Browns over the Steelers, Bengals over the Titans, Chiefs over the Dolphins, Bengals over the Bills, Browns over the Chiefs. So the Battle of Ohio going on for the AFC title game. On the other side, Niners dominate Washington, Philly sneaks past LA, and Carolina beats Minnesota by a field goal. Green Bay over San Fran, Philly over Carolina. So your final four: Cleveland, Cincy, Green Bay, and Philadelphia. Obviously, if the Bengals were to end up winning the Super Bowl, it would be bittersweet. Because if we lose to the eventual winner, and it is going to be Bengals and Packers, if we lose to the eventual winner, it's like, oh, hey, we lost to the eventual winner. But it also says that could have been us. That could have been us. I genuinely believe it now. This year could have been the year. Because we could have beaten them. Absolutely. Also, don't know why the hell the music glitched out, but it is what it is. Let's get a look at the yearly rewards here before we get to, I believe, Super Bowl 62. Bengals and Packers. Josh Allen was MVP. Wheeler finished third in his first year as a starter. Eli Wheeler finishes third in MVP voting. Your coach of the year was Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. We finished fifth. Not bad. Your AFC Offensive Player of the Year this time out is Nico Collins. Wheeler finished fifth. Sims finished ninth. Your Defensive Player of the Year is Max Crosby. We had Koromoa at 8 and McCreary at 9. Your Offensive Rookie of the Year, David Denmark, the quarterback in Cleveland. I identified him as a good player, but obviously we had no reason to take him. He was ahead of the Patriots' generational running back, Thomas Stevenson. We had Brewer finish 9th, Bonds finished 10th in voting. Your Defensive Rookie of the Year, Darrell Holcomb for the Baltimore Ravens. McLeod finished 5th in voting. Top quarterback is Josh Allen. Best running back, Breece Hall. Top wideout, Nico Collins. Sims and Drayton, Wembley all on that list. Top O-lineman, that's bullshit. Chandler did not allow a single sack, nor did Hartwell. It should have been one of those two. That's bullshit. I don't even care if Chandler finished second. He should have been top two. Best defensive lineman was Max Crosby. Best linebacker, TJ Watt, Koromoa, and Huggins were both in the top 10. Top defensive back, Sauce Gardner over McCreary. That's fair. And best kicker was Harrison Butker over Josh Carty. That's also fair. It was a bit of a toss-up between the two. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Brandon Ayuk. The Defensive Player of the Year was Micah Parsons. Top rookie, Andrew Leonard for the Panthers. They actually had the top two. And best defensive rookie, Jeff Allen in Tampa. Top quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. Running back, Bijan Robinson. Wideout, Brandon Ayuk, of course. Offensive lineman, Chris Lindstrom. That's fair. D lineman, Micah Parsons. Linebacker, Jared Verse. Defensive back, Marshawn Lattimore. and top kicker Brandon Aubrey, which is also fair. So no award winners for us this year. We had some people that were in the running. The winner of the Super Bowl is your Green Bay Packers, 23-20 with middle linebacker Edgerrin Cooper winning Super Bowl MVP. The Packers join the Steelers and Pats as 6-time champs. Again, that could have been us against Green Bay. I feel like we might look back on this year as a bit of a wasted opportunity. So far, we have seen the Packers, the Vikings, the Jaguars, and the Packers. We've seen the Packers now win 2 times in 4 years. So, be hyped, Packers fans, at least according to Madden. Jordan Love, you're in good hands. In terms of our draft picks this year, we know we are way down the board. 23, 28, and 32. So this will be interesting. How good? I'll look at the Packers roster. We'll just look at the whole deal. God, we could have beaten the Bengals. We could have. Packers led by Jordan Love playing as a 97. Jair Alexander's still there. Rashawn Gary, Edgerrin Cooper. So, I mean, Love is a 90 overall. Was playing like a 97 at the end. 156 million in cap space. We have all the money in the world to spend, that's for sure. In terms of retirements, we say goodbye to all of our mentors, basically. Including OBJ, Derrick Henry, Kirk. Chat one more time. Drop your Kirks. Kirk Cousins steps away after 16 years. Would he have gotten us to the Super Bowl? That's the question. A lot of big retirements for the Patriots. Panthers, Amari Cooper retires as a champ. Tyreek Hill's gone. Devontae Adams, Matt Milano. Calvin Ridley retired. I mean, in fairness, I kind of killed his career. Well, maybe that was the gambling. But Matt Judon, CJ Mosley, Brandon Cooks, Mike Evans. A lot of familiar names stepping away this year. Press conference time. What's up with the press conference? You lost the game. How's it feel to lose the game? Feels great, Jim. Hello, everybody. Coach, let's talk about the next few months. Oh, I thought you were going to say let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. What's the plan for the offseason? There is no specific plan. No plan. What do you mean? No plan at all? Yes, Linda. We're happy with our talents. Our talent is dope, and they're going to be even better next year. So you're saying the current roster is good enough to be a playoff team? Yes. I do, in fact, guarantee it. If this team isn't a playoff team, then I should not be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans anymore. Because this team should be fantastic. So there we go. I'll make our first guarantee. You bet your bottom dollar. As we get some player upgrades here, this will be the practice squad, I'm sure. It is. I don't know if any of these guys will be sticking around long term, so we'll just auto-upgrade them. Can't imagine any of them have anything to do. We've lost no pieces. The only piece we're going to lose is a defensive tackle. That's it. Let's see. I was wondering if we lost our coordinators at all, but I don't believe that we have. So that is very good. Let me actually just double check that our coordinators are still here. They are. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. An 11-6 season, a narrow loss in the playoffs. In terms of players ready to re-sign, Devondre Sweat's willing to come back. We would be paying him big money. Big money, right? At least for a second choice defensive tackle. Dawson Knox, we're going to let him go. DJ Humphries, Trey Turner, Andrew Wiley, Joby. I like Devondre Sweat a lot, and you could argue, like, hey, you have the cap space, just keep him. But I am worried about that cap space disappearing very quickly. Shouldn't be that bad, though, to just give him what he wants. Right? But then what if there's someone who's even better that we could bring in at that position from free agency? Because Antoine Shepard's an 86. Or, of course, we just look for a defensive lineman in the draft, and then we got somebody even cheaper. Because, again, that cap space is going to go fucking fast once it's time. It is true we could overpay him for a one-year deal. I mean, he is a pretty damn good second-choice DT. But we could also switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4 based on the linebacking talent that we have. What is this player meeting, first and foremost, before we make a decision? What is this player meeting? A lot of options. Agent's been telling me my number one motivation should be more meaningful. Oh, Earl. What's your motivation, Earl? I don't want to pay income tax. That's a perfect motivation. We're in a no income tax state. Would you change that about me? Fuck no. You're perfect. I don't want you to change, Earl. You're beautiful just the way you are. Appreciate it, coach. Yes, Earl, me and you. Fuck your agent. It's me and you. Plus 20 morale. I do accept you for who you are. You're perfect just the way you are. Please care about playing in a no-income tax state. That's actually awesome. It's goofy because, like, oh, the income tax state, but that could have worked to your advantage in terms of maybe keeping somebody, but that worked out perfect for us because it actually did work to our advantage. I wish I could see, and I might actually be able to see pending free agents. At defensive tackle, Travis Jones's deal is up. Is there anybody like a big game changer at defensive tackle who's about to have their contract expire? If not, it might just make sense to overpay our dude for 1 year. Wheeler was first round, 28th overall. Jazon Newton, he's just as good as who we have. Mason Smith, no guarantees he hits the market. This would be normal dev. He's not going to get much better, so never mind. Any big defensive tackles? It doesn't look like it. We're good. We're absolutely good. To be honest, now would be a good time as well to look around the league and see what positions might not be developing as well as they should be. But Devondre, we are going to overpay to keep you here for next year, if you would like that. You would like that. So Devondre's back, so we're actually losing no starters. Jarvis Brownlee is our fourth choice corner. That's not a bad amount of money to pay him. Although he was the one who infamously fucked up an onside kick incredibly badly. Really not much to pay him. Like, he's fine as a 4 or 5. I'm just wondering if we'll get a good corner in the draft. You know, let's give him 1 year. We got the money. Let's give him 1 year, $4 million. There we go. We'll bring Jarvis back. And then everybody else can go because they were all the mentors. Some of them might be back next year, but for now, they're going. So, any big defensive ends about it at the market? That's the question that I could have looked at, but I think overall, we're not going about it a bad way. If I look at the NFL, it is probably, it's going to show a lot of these guys with morale. There are too many top-notch quarterbacks. Like, sweet Jesus Christ. There are way too many top-notch quarterbacks. This is insane. Right. We are going to tone down quarterback XP gains because that's fucking insane. Running back wise, got what, about 6 elite running backs? I think that could even be toned down a little bit. Fullbacks, that's fine. Honestly, I wouldn't mind elite fullbacks. We'll try to bump that up. Wideouts, too many top. Oh my god, yeah, way too many top-notch wideouts. Way too many. Tight end. Tight end looks okay. Maybe a smidge. A smidge toned down for a bit more player separation, but that's okay. Left tackle. A lot of negative morale. It's okay. Maybe argue a little bit up or down either way. Left guard's about the same. Center, okay. Right guard, okay. Right, okay. I think the O-line's probably fine. Defensive end, couple of elite options. Also not too bad. Individual player separations, few and far between. Yeah, I think defensive end could be toned down a little bit. Defensive tackle. Okay. Oh my god, Shepard went X Factor, guys. Antoine Shepard went X Factor. No way. There it is. Dev trade increase, Super Bowl week. He ends up with run stuffer. Good lord, man. Good lord. Linebacker looks pretty good. Middle linebacker. Maybe see if I can tone that down just a smidge. Right outside linebacker, not looking bad. Way too many top-notch corners. Way too many. Safety looks okay. Safety's okay. Maybe even argue a smidge of a turn down. And again, fullbacks, kicker. It's a point where too many X factors is a small problem. That's true. Yeah, kicker and punter still need boosts. Okay. I wanted to take that quick little look. Franchise settings, XP sliders. At least this way we'll know what to do in the future. We're going to drop quarterbacks down to 75. 76. Whatever. Running backs are going to go down to 90. Tight ends are going to go down to 90. Wideouts are going down to 76. Fullbacks are going up to like 150. The O-line is fine. Defensive end down to a 90. Tone it down a little. Defensive tackle. OCD just kicked off. Defensive tackle was fine. Middle linebackers will drop a smidge. Corner was toned down a lot. Safeties was toned down a little. Special teams. We'll bump those up. 150 might actually be too much. Let's go 120. 126. As opposed to 125. I'll keep fullbacks on 150 though. That's just fun. Okay. Oh goodness. So I had a feeling that would still require some attention. Also, my dyslexia, as you mentioned, it should have been OCD. You're fine. All right, so I think we're good to advance to free agency. And obviously, if there's someone we can make a play for, we have the money. We'll see what happens here. In terms of positions of need, we do not need a quarterback. Obviously, we have Wheeler. We'll need a project / backup. And a mentor. Running back. Can't imagine I'm going to keep Clyde Smith. Yeah, we'll just let go of him now. So running back, we have Higgins as the number 1. And to answer questions about Wheeler, he is still star dev, despite finishing top 5 in MVP voting. We got Higgins, we got Mitchell. We'll need a mentor there. We could get a natural fullback back on roster. Wideouts. We have Drayton. We have Wembley. We have Sims, superstar Sims. And Josh Bonds, who was star dev. Richard Bird can go. So from there, we need a project and a mentor. Tight end, Okonkwo and Felix Brewer, who is still normal dev, but he's a good player. So we got Okonkwo, we got Brewer, we just need a mentor in that role. At tackle, we might trade Zion Johnson, we'll see, but we have Jay Peterson. We have Johnson, and then ideally we'd have a mentor there for Peterson for XP growth. Latham would be behind Chandler, so ideally Johnson / backup. Latham / backup, and then potentially a mentor in that role. Center is Darrell Cheeks. And we need a mentor for him. Double check this. I mean, based on the mobility. It sucks because Chandler was amazing at left guard. Peterson struggled a bit, but I don't think there's a way to swap him out. And then Gallagher was phenomenal at right guard. He needs a mentor behind him. And then Stefan Shields needs a mentor behind him. Left side, Toby White has lost his X Factor. Toby White has dropped down to star dev. We did do a good job of getting him from a 63 to a 79. But he has lost his X Factor, which might change things a little bit for us. We'll see. I'm not surprised he lost it. Right side, we still have Karloftis. And we'll need a backup for him in that role because it will not be Rodney Casey. If you trade Latham, you're on the hook for the penalty. Yes. But he's only got the 1 year left. So, and of course, we lost White's X Factor, but Shepard gained 1. We brought back Tavondra Sweat, so we'll just need a mentor at DT. Linebacker. On the left, we still have Huggins and Wheatley behind him. Standard dev caps. So the devs decide how much XP it takes for someone to get their next skill point. So you'll notice for Huggins, under the overall, it shows 5,000 out of 8,000. If he was normal dev, 8,000 would be higher. If he was superstar, it'd be lower. And if he was an X Factor, it'd be even lower than that. So it primarily affects how much XP it takes to get that skill point. Your age also affects that as well. As you get older, it costs more points. I mean, like, there are only 500 stars for the X Factor. Yes, so there are caps on that as well. Yeah. So, you will see players evolve over time as well. Mark Smith. I think we were good to cut you. Yeah, we were. So we'll need a mentor for Huggins. Zeke Hewitt, who we drafted last year. Let's move on from you now. Otherwise, we'll just have to do it in the preseason. And then Andrew Avant. Get rid of you. So in the middle, Oromoa. Still tremendous. Carl Tramer lost his dev pattern. We'll be putting him on the practice squad. And then Aaron Brown. Are the total numbers of X Factors changed from default? Yes. I think I maxed out all 3 sliders to have more people. So if you're wondering, like, oh, it seems like a lot of X Factors. Yes, but obviously other teams are developing their players as well. We'll need a backup / project. And then potentially a mentor. Middle linebacker will need some addressing. Right side, we have, and actually, was Huggins still star dev? Yes. Is Tyson still star dev? Good, because he almost went superstar. So, and then Chad Falk will end up being sent to the practice squad in the preseason. Corners, X Factor, Roger McCreary. McCreary has gone X Factor as well. Okay. He ends up getting Bottleneck to go alongside On the Ball, Mid-Zone KO, and Persistent. Jesus Christ. So we've definitely seen some changes. Turner is still a superstar. Crowder has retained his X Factor. So we got 2 X Factor corners in CJ Turner. Brownlee's back as the 4th choice. Tommy Jones can end up being cut. Which means pretty much all we need for that 5th choice is a mentor. I mean, maybe a project, but he probably won't play over Brownlee, so really it's just a mentor. At safety, Evan McLeod was already an X Factor. That's what his dev pattern was when we drafted him. So Lonnie Blackman, we thought once upon a time you might be the guy. You were not. We'll need a mentor there. Vernon, I've been joining it too, so I'm glad you feel that way. Timmons there, and then we'll need a mentor. Kicker is still Josh Carty, which is fine. I mean, he was great for us last year. And we will need a punter. Okay. So we have our game plan for free agency and the draft. Although, who knows, there might be free agents that are good enough to change our mind. The top quarterbacks available, Mac Jones, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. So Penix capped out at a 75. Carty was 2nd for kicker of the year. Bo Nix caps out at a 77 alongside Mac Jones. Again, we do need a backup quarterback, but I am not willing to spend, or am I willing to spend? We got plenty of money. We could bring in Michael Penix as the backup. Ooh, there is 23-year-old star dev Nathan Rivers. One of Phil's many, many kids. I mean, we could bring this guy in as a bit of a project in case Wheeler goes down. I don't hate that. Again, we have $139 million in cap. I can just offer this guy way more than he deserves. He does look 55 years old, yes. And there we go. We'll see if we can bring him in as the backup / project. Running back, we needed a mentor, so we're not going to bring in anybody. Bucky Irving, Will Shipley are the top options, as well as Ray Davis. But again, there's nobody that we need. Unless there was someone with a crazy dev pattern, which there was not. We do need a fullback. Out to Gerald Bass. I mean, we could technically look for one, but man, we want this team to be the best they can be. There's no reason to not just send Reggie Gillum a great offer. Right? Like, just overspend on Reggie Gillum. Let's start flexing the cash that we have. We'll bring in, or try to bring in, Reggie Gillum for the year. Or Gilliam. I always say Gillum instead of Gilliam. I don't know why. Because I'm dumb and I can't read. Top wideouts, Malachi Corley. Khalil Shakir, Roman Wilson. Kadarius Toney is still somehow playing football. We do not need a wideout at all, so we will not be targeting anybody here. And then tight end, Dawson Knox, Tucker Kraft. Hopefully Dawson gets a good little payday. Hopefully he does. We don't need a tight end, so we're not going after anybody. At left tackle, we also don't need anybody here. But Patrick Paul, Orlando Brown, Braxton Jones. Nobody crazy there. Left guard, Cushenberry, Damian Lewis. And nobody crazy that we'd consider. Miles Long was ours that we drafted, but we invested in the right people. Zach Frazier, Josh Myers. Nobody crazy. Oh, Will, you know. Right guard, Cesar Ruiz. Will Hernandez, City Sound. Trevor Nix does have star dev, but we just do not have the space. The right tackle, Taylor Moton, Ryan O'Neal, Caleb McGarry. Defensive end, Rook. Oh, horror. I only hear Titus O'Neil. Rook. Oh, horror. Slater Gator, baby. This guy we could send the big money deal to play defensive tackle, but I think like bringing in or keeping Sweat wasn't a bad decision. Oh, goodness. There are a couple of guys that aren't that bad. The thing is, though, we would only really be able to keep Rook for 1 year anyway. You know? We'd only have been able to sign him to the 1 year big-time offer, because the interest level to keep him beyond that would have been rough. Defensive tackle, Mason Smith, Newton. I think we made the right choice in holding on to Travondra Sweat for a year. And then who knows, maybe we still end up drafting a defensive tackle that actually ends up being good. Nothing to worry about there. Linebacker, Joey Bosa, down to a 79. No crazy linebackers to worry about. Middle linebacker, Terrell Dodson. Can't imagine there's going to be anybody to worry about. There is not. And right side, Oluokun is there. Would be a good player, but I mean, we're set. Like, someone's going to have to be really good for me to consider them. Otherwise, Jalen Ramsey. Whoa, Cooper. Oh, Cooper's out there. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. Jesus Christ, to get him as the 4th choice corner would just be such an embarrassment of riches. Even if it's only for a year. Like, we could absolutely spend the money on he or Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, I mean, at 33, you'd think he'd be old enough to be the mentor, though. You know? You would think. No younger corners to worry about. Again, Cooper, we'd be able to bring in for like a year. So that doesn't make too much sense. But bringing in Jalen Ramsey for the year to be behind McCreary, Turner, and Crowder as the 4th choice corner, but to also be a mentor, I think we're going to do it. We are going to overspend like hell because we can. It is true that Cooper wants to be here, which is awesome. Trust me, that's awesome. I love that. But would you choose McCreary or Crowder to go? No. Right? They're both X Factor. And then Turner is also a superstar. So I know the argument might be like, oh, sign Cooper, trade one of the other guys, but we already have talent on the level of Cooper, and it's like, dude, we don't have roster openings, we don't need other draft picks. You know, it's like eventually the flipping has to end. But yeah, look at this. You know, like CJ, I think we're good. I think we're more than fine. But I am still going to make the play for the veteran because not only is he great in Jalen Ramsey and provides great depth, but he could also play that mentor role, which is exactly what we need. So he's great depth, and he'd be a mentor if he's willing to sign here. Looks like we got to give him even more money. Jalen, I'm going to go full Godfather here and give you an offer you can't refuse. We're going 10 million flat, 10 million bonus. Even then, he still likes the Falcons as much. Again, we got the money to spend, baby. We got it to spend. 10 million flat's not enough? I'll show you, motherfucker. 15 million flat with the 15 million signing bonus. He does have the mentor tag as well. Welcome to the first national ATM of Titans. There you go. Yeah, now... What? The Falcons are still ahead of us, so no matter how much I offer him, he's not going to be more interested. Oh my god. 20 million! 20! I have more money than God! I'll give it to you as well. Let's go. 20 million. The funny thing is we actually have even more cap space than that because we have 3 first-round picks, and there's the cap reserve for it. Does Mentor make a big difference? It gets younger players extra XP in training, so yes. That's why you see a lot of our guys developing quickly, is because they're getting even more XP thanks to the mentors. I'm not signing Cooper. Stop. 20 and 20. There you go, Jalen. There you go. Trust me, any other year, I'd be all over Cooper DeJean as a player to sign, but it just does not make sense for our team. We have 2 young safeties to build around already. We got the corners already, but Jalen Ramsey does make sense. Legit. Ooh. We could bring... Oh, he doesn't have Mentor. See how it shows the tags underneath this player picture? He doesn't have Mentor, otherwise he would have been perfect. A Woozy could be brought back. He does have Mentor. And would obviously be a higher rated player now. You know, a Woozy, do you want to come back for the year? Do you want to come back for the year? 5 mil? Bring back a Woozy as a relatively high-rated mentor. And then strong safety, nobody that we necessarily need. No crazy high overall mentors or anything. Okay, so that brings us then. Top kickers, Justin Tucker. I mean, we don't need a kicker. We got our guy for the next year. Although, star dev Dalton Simpson at 22. And then the superstar Preston Porter, who we know doesn't want to stay here. I don't think we build up Simpson. Is there a younger punter we could build up? No, there is not. Top punter again is Bradley Pinion. Bajorquez. Bajorquez is still out there, too. Bajorquez still has a fucking cannon of a foot, man. 97. I mean, at least Pinion wants to be here. Yeah, Bajorquez has a fucking boot. So we are going to send him a nice little deal as well. Splash the cash that we have. And those will be our 5 targets. Jalen Ramsey as a mentor. Bajorquez as the punter. Gilliam as the starting fullback. Woozy as a mentor. And then Nathan Rivers as a project quarterback. Just splashing the cash for these guys because we can. Because we can. And any other year we'd be after Cooper, but I don't think we need him. I mean, the only argument is like, oh, what if you move him to strong safety to replace Timmons? Timmons has been good for us. Like, yeah, Cooper's better. He's superstar and everything, but eventually you got to stick with some of the guys that brought you to the dance, right? Eventually. Let's see what happens for these role-filling players. Anybody going to deny the money? Only Rivers so far. Jalen Ramsey is here as a 4th choice corner. We again have Bajorquez as our punter. Our new fullback is Mr. Gilliam. And then Awuzie will be our free safety mentor. Perfect. Perfect. So we still have the target out on Rivers. Shits and giggles, we might be able to fill out these mentor roles elsewhere. Is there anybody... Joe Mixon? I mean, someone like Joe Mixon should be available later on, though. You know? Anybody else? Again, we already got Ramsey. Look at available. We don't need Tucker. Luakun doesn't have mentor. Hassan Reddick does. But that was Karlaftis. I mean, technically with Reddick, we would just be spending money for the sake of spending it to have a really good backup. Same for Jonathan Allen. But why not ensure that our team depth is really great? So, much like we did with Jalen Ramsey, let's go over to Hassan Reddick and say, we have the money. We'll splash the cash. You just got to sign. You just got to sign. What's his interest? What is his interest after that? Price. Oh, because I targeted him. He's not there. We're in the running. At least with Buffalo and New Orleans. That's fine. So again, quarterback, we're fine. Running back. You know what, Joe Mixon? Let's give it a shot. Why not? Try to get some of these deals done early, you know? See if we can bring in Joe Mixon as a mentor target there. And then wide out, we needed either a mentor or a project. First guy to have mentor is Chris Godwin. I don't really think we need to rely on the project. So Chris Godwin, splash some cash with you here as well. And we got one more move to make. Tight end. We have a mentor. We do. Hunter Henry. 1 year deal for Mr. Henry. And see if you will sign. Some another day. Just filling up these gaps in the roster that we are going to need to fill at some point. We might as well make sure it's with the best overall players. Make use of that cap. We have signed Hassan Reddick to be a backup right guard, if not even left, not right guard, right end, if not left end. Chris Godwin will be on as the 5th choice wideout this year. Joe Mixon will be the 3rd string running back. And Rivers is on as our backup / project quarterback. Sweet. Only guy we did not hear from yet is Hunter Henry. So we need a mentor quarterback. And that will be Baker Mayfield. See if we can bring on Baker as a mentor. O-line, I will save for last. Anybody at left end? Zadarius Smith. And he kind of wants to be here. That's actually perfectly fine by me. Let's send Zadarius Smith an offer. Only team going after him right now. Right in now we have Reddick. Defensive tackle. We need a mentor. Vita Vea is willing to be here. Go team friendly to save a little bit of money. So we'll see if he chooses us or the Broncos. Left side, we also need a mentor. But you know what? It is getting now a little bit tight on cap space. A little bit. So we'll see what happens with those offers there. Because we do have unlimited negotiations. Actually, you know what? We could just lowball everybody. Could just lowball. We went after Vita Vea. Right side, we're fine. Linebacker, we need a mentor. Which could be a lowball deal. Actually, we have the depth there. We really don't need to sign anybody amazing. Can bring back Arden Key. Even then, he's not as cheap as he should be. You know, we should be fine. We should be fine. Let's be a smidge cautious with the money. Even though we've been throwing a whole lot of money around. So let's take a look then at our signings. Jalen Ramsey, Corey Bojorquez, Hassan Reddick, Reggie Gilliam, Chris Godwin, Zadarius Smith. Be behind Toby White. Joe Mixon, Hunter Henry at tight end. We have a woozy. Baker Mayfield is here. All right, so really, we just need mentors for the O-line, the linebackers, and 1 safety position. So, I mean, we are set up incredibly well, showing up at $24 million in cap space. Not bad. And then in terms of where all the big names went, Cooper ends up going to Miami for 4 years. That's a damn good signing for them, but the time just wasn't right for us. Sneed's on his way to Denver. Ora on his way to Washington. Quinyon Mitchell to Denver as well. So Denver really rebuilding their secondary. Nate Wiggins to the Jags. Rakestraw Jr. to Buffalo. Mason Smith out to Nolans. Corley on the move. Shakir to Buffalo. And Aluakun to Miami. Zach Frazier also to Miami. So quite a few moves. Mac Jones following Tom Brady to Tampa. And Bo Nix is off to Atlanta. So we have yield private workouts to just try and find the best players we possibly can. Late, of course, in the first round. So we want guys that are projected round 1 to 2. That we don't have full info on. Shamir Tutt is a running back. It would be nice to know if he could actually catch the ball. Junior Winslow's coverages are terrible. Tyler Doran as a center. We want full info on him. James Babineau as a running back. I want to know if he's got that break tackle. Chase Barnhart. Sean Green. Let's go Gary Hawley as a center. Because again, our team needs right now are incredibly low. What do we need? We need mentors. We don't even need starters. It's hilarious. So I don't know how seriously I'm going to take this draft, because it might just be better to push down a lot of our picks to futures, because we're fine. Like, we're absolutely fine. There's nobody that we need to draft right now to potentially cause a logjam of talent, because we already have more than enough talent. Like, there is a real chance here that I might just trade out of, like, the first 3 rounds up until it's like, hey, it's worth, you know, starting to take a flyer on a couple of players. Like, we'll see. We'll see.